What was it like bringing this sort of Providence lore to life? I mean, it's not lore; it's historical fact that happened. But I mean, in Providence, this is a pretty big story, and I'm pretty sure isn't your director of, from Rhode Island as well?
Everybody, yeah. So the producer Chad Verdi, who produced the film that I couldn't get enough of, called Bleed for this.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of his whole deal. Tom, who just has been one of these guys who's made these really great movies for super low budgets and is just a true artist at heart. They're both Providence based. This
Was Bleed for this a Providence? Was he a Providence boxer?
Yeah, Vinny
okay.
Pazienza's from Providence. Yeah, the whole thing's set in Providence, which is why I know what they did that film for. And so that was my first intrigue. Also, it's the kind of that whole Scorsese team. You know, Emma was nominated. The other producer was nominated for Wolf of Wall Street, and now she's got The Irishman. She just produced The Joker. So it was all these people who just had this incredible stuff behind them. And really going and looking at Providence and seeing this small town, it makes things way more intimate, as in the characters. Everybody knows each other, you know, and all that. So I just, for me, when I dove in and when I got it, my first thing was, what intrigued me the most was I called somebody about it who I knew from Providence. And they said, oh, this is like a bedtime story.
Yeah.
Everybody tells their kids this story at night of these two normal guys and their crew that robbed this bank and came out with millions and millions of dollars. I said, oh, I have to do this movie because it's been like folklore for so long, and this is the first time it's on screen.
It's also a lot of fun to watch a mob movie that plays with a lot of the mob tropes and subverts them, but is not in Brooklyn or Staten Island or Manhattan, which is where they're always set. And at this point, I can't watch a mob movie that takes place in Manhattan or Brooklyn
100%,
at this point anymore.
unless it's a period piece.
Right, exactly, unless it's a period piece. But for some reason, this being a period piece as well as being in Providence, that immediately injects it with a freshness that is kind of unexpected.
Yeah, I feel the same exact way. And I mean, when I first heard this, I've actually gone out of my way to kind of, I really haven't done a lot of New York stuff, which is very odd, you know, growing up here. And, you know, even though I left at, 17, 18, and came back.
Well, Luke Cage, but that's a different kind of New York.
Different kind of New York. It was, a fantastical New York, and yet at the same time very Harlem-based. But it was just, I think with this, it was a fresh take. It was also a story I never heard. And I think that that's kind of where we're at. Also, we're at a period in filmmaking right now where it's very hard to make films about right now. It's just hard because we live in a very different world. If you're in an airport or you kind of go around, everybody's on their phones. So it's very period pieces when we're telling old stories or seemingly where the drama, and this is definitely has a lot of comedy in it as well as drama.
Oh, yeah.
It's where the stories are living unless you're in the superhero world. So you're kind of like period pieces, historical stuff, biopics, and then we're true stories, and then we're living in that other world. So to get this kind of full scope acting with people like Samira and Clive, and Samira's just phenomenal in it. She's phenomenal in everything that she's in, and Chaz and Don, that's where films like this live.